Hi, this is Ann with Finance on the Offense, and today I'm going to go over the hugely popular VTSAX index fund, what it is, the pros and cons, and whether or not, in my opinion, you should buy it. And I do want to say that I'm not a finance professional, so everything in this video is just for entertainment purposes only. All right, let's get started. Okay, so what is VTSAX? It actually stands for Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund Admiral Shares. And it's an index fund that was created in 1992 by the Vanguard company, the brokerage company. What they decided to do when they created this was to take a little piece of every company that was offered on the stock market and wrap it into one fund that anyone could buy. So generally speaking, the way it works is if the stock market goes up on any given day, VTSAX is also going to go up. Or if the stock market falls a little bit on any given day, VTSAX will go down too. So it follows the stock market almost exactly. The largest holdings that VTSAX has at the moment are Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, Nvidia Corp, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan Chase, and Johnson & Johnson. So these are obviously some of the biggest and most successful companies in the US. So when you buy this fund, you're basically buying little pieces of those companies and lots of other companies too. And when all those companies do well over time, you will make money. Okay, so let's go over some pros and cons of buying VTSAX. Here are the pros. In the past, the stock market has averaged 8 to 10% a year. So if you hold VTSAX, which follows the stock market very closely, you'll probably see a similar return. For example, if you'd put $10,000 in VTSAX back in 2011, it would be worth about $46,000 today. But past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Another great thing about this fund is that it has super low fees, and it doesn't have any loads at all, which are actually another kind of fee. There are some reasons that you might not want to buy this fund. First, your initial investment has to be at least $3,000. But if you don't have that much, there's another option available, and that is to buy an ETF version of this index fund, and that is called VTI. If you buy VTI, you only have to buy one share of it. And today when I checked, one share was about $227. So you could buy this, which also represents the whole stock market, for only $227. VTI does pretty much the same thing as I said, tracks the whole stock market, but since it's an ETF, it's a little bit different and there are some things to know about it. And if you want to learn about what the differences are between mutual funds, ETFs, and index funds, I do have another video, and that should be right up here on your screen right now. Another thing you might want to consider before buying this fund is that it's a moderately risky fund because the stock market is always going up and down, and that means that your investment will also go up and down just like the stock market. We're not sure when another recession is going to happen, but personally I feel like we're pretty far overdue for a recession any day now. The thing is, it's very well diversified, and you're basically owning every company on the stock market when you buy VTI or VTSAX. And let's take a look at what's happened in the stock market over time. Here's the Dow Jones chart, and you can see that it goes up and down all the time. Here it took quite a dip, but overall, over the past year, it's gone up for the most part. Now let's look at the 5-year. Here it took a big dip, and this was when COVID happened. And there have been some other pretty strong dips along the way, but as you can see, it's been an upward trajectory ever since 2017. And then let's look at the maximum. Here's 2008, and here's 2002. But you can see what it's done over time. So what I'm trying to get at is that if you buy VTSAX and you only hold it for a short time, let's say you bought it when the stock market was here and you only wanted to hold it for a couple weeks, you would be selling down here and you would lose a lot of money. So it makes sense to hold this one for quite a long time in order to minimize the risk of losing money. In my opinion, VTSAX, as I just said, is great for buying and holding for a long period of time. That minimizes your risk. So if you're wanting to use the money soon, then you run the risk of it being in a down market at the time you need to sell. Should you buy it now? Well, that's a tough one. I mentioned earlier that I feel like maybe a recession is on the way, but honestly, if you're in it for the long haul, a pesky recession isn't going to bother you anyway. You can just wait till the fund recovers and then shoots right past that drop-off point. All right, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.